Hello, this is John Kimberly with Secret Double Octopus, and today I'd like to do a quick demonstration of passwordless multi-factor authentication to devices beyond Windows and Macs. And so what I have here is I have a CentOS 8 machine. That's a Linux machine. This machine actually happens to be joined to Active Directory. It can be joined to Active Directory in a number of different ways. There are a number of companies that provide this ability. There's public domain ways of doing it, but it is joined to Active Directory. However, what SDO is able to provide here is passwordless access to the machine so that the user does not have to manage or be concerned about the way that the passwords are managed. There's just no management in the passwords at all. You'll also notice here there's my two local users that I have here. I'm going to log in with a user by the name of Fred Thomas. And so when I go in here and I'm going to cancel that, and I'm going to say not listed, and I'm going to log in as Fred Thomas. Now that is Fred's SAM account name out of Active Directory. So I'm going to hit enter. And because this is passwordless, I'm going to hit enter here, and you'll notice my phone over there on the right. So I have the notification that comes up. I'm going to click that. I'm going to approve this as my push notification. It has now popped up on my phone, which isn't showing. It's asking me for my fingerprint, so I'm going to put my fingerprint on it. And once I do that, it's going to drop me in. Now notice very quickly it's going to say creating, well it said created the home directory, so it went by a little bit quick. But this has now created the home directory for Fred. I'm going to go through the setup. It's going to take all the defaults. I'm going to say continue. And so once I'm in, I am now in, I'll open up a window here, I am in as Fred Thomas. Okay, and so from here, if I wanted to, I could say, all right, just to show you, I'm going to do a grep of Fred from etc PASSWD, and you'll see nothing shows up. So although Fred is logged into this machine, he is not a local user on the machine. It's coming purely from Active Directory's credential store. So if I turn around and say, okay, I'm going to get int Fred, actually get int PASSWD grep Fred. There's the information that's actually coming from Active Directory. So this is his SID, his SID from Active Directory. This is the GUID from Active Directory. And so that created his home directory using that as the SID and the GID. So if I do a ls-nl, there's the SID and the GID for Fred. Okay. Now this works on the console, so right here I'm actually on the console logged in as Fred, but it also works with PuTTY, okay, for example. So if I open up PuTTY, bring that over here, I'm going to scroll down, I'm going to click the machine, I'm going to log in again as Fred Thomas. It's passwordless, so I'm going to hit enter. A message pops up on the screen. I approve the push notification. It's asking for a fingerprint, and it logs me into the machine. So it does not have to create the home directory again, obviously, because the directory is already created. But now Fred Thomas can log in at both the console as well as a PuTTY session or any SSH client session and be passwordless and gain passwordless access into the machine. The other thing that's also here is you'll notice that Fred is just a regular user. So you'll see his UID and GID there. And so if I wanted to do something, say as an elevated privilege, I could do, let me give you an example. So I'm going to say vi etc PASSWD. The file comes up, but notice this is read-only. So if I made a change here, Fred does not have the privilege in order to change this file. However, I have also included the sudo elevated privilege capability also in the MFA. So if I turn around and say something like sudo vi etc PASSWD, it's going to ask me for Fred Thomas's password, but I'm passwordless, so I'm going to hit enter. It prompts me on my phone. I approve the push, fingerprint, and it brings up the file. Notice it is no longer read-only, so I am now editing this file with a privilege of superuser in order to do this. But I'm able to do this now as a regular user doing passwordless MFA to control the access and privilege to this Linux machine. Okay, so let's do something else. So that's Linux, and so this will work in any flavor of Linux, and it's using radius authentication with that integration into Active Directory using the tools. Okay, so now if I turn around and go, okay, let's try say a network switch. All right, so let's open up PuTTY again. Now over here, I'm going to have, if I scroll down here, I have a Cisco. This is in my lab. This is a Cisco 4849 managed switch using the latest version of iOS on the switch, Cisco's iOS. So I'm going to click here. Okay, it's asking for a login. So again, I can use a SAM account name. So I can use Fred Thomas, and I'm going to hit enter. I'm passwordless. I'm going to hit enter. Prompt on the phone. I'm going to click that. I'm going to approve the push. It's asking for a fingerprint, and it drops me into Cisco. So from here, I could do, whatever. I can, as I elevate, I can enter the enable mode on this. I can go into super user here, but I can control who has access to this machine. And I can validate that user logging into this layer 3 switch using the passwordless MFA as well as the biometric fingerprint, so that I can be absolutely sure beyond a shadow of a doubt that the person logging into the switch is the person that is authorized to log into the switch. So I hope you found this interesting, and I look forward to working with you further on anything else that comes up where SDO can solve your identity access issues. Thank you.